and all. I have to apologize for not getting with yins yesterday. I am so sorry. I had gotten busy, and by the time I was ready to do a live stream, it was pretty late, and I didn't want to do it later on in the afternoon or evening. So I have got a little bit to share with you, but every bit of it's good. So the last live stream I had with yins was Wednesday, and I had come in at 219.8. And I had told you that I was hoping very much to have an even better rate yesterday, Thursday, and that if I'd lost more weight, then it would definitely be that I had finally learned what the Lord had been trying to lead me to do. And so yesterday I came in at 218.5. So that was a pound and 3 ounces down. And I honestly felt good. I felt good physically and mentally. I felt like I had finally gotten it. I had finally understood what the Lord meant. And once again, I wasn't drastically hungry. I had gotten just a little hungry, so I had one piece of buttered toast and one sausage patty, along with my coffee. Plus, I had a very good walk yesterday morning, and I had a second walk in the afternoon. And I really didn't get hungry in the evening, but I went on ahead and had me a chicken thigh and the rest of my rice, my side, which was cheddar and broccoli from Noor's. And when I took my second walk, I went on over to the Dollar General, and I had gotten myself a king size cookies and cream from Hershey. And I ate that. And overall, I was satisfied yesterday. I shared a few Captain Rafers with cream cheese from Lance. I shared that with the two dogs. We just kind of munched on them a little bit, but it was to get them to eat. I didn't want them, but it was to get them to eat it. And why was that important? Well, Bouncy Baby had kind of gone through the streak of not really wanting her dog food, and so I'm trying to encourage her appetite a little bit. But anyway, so with all that, I was so very pleased to come in this morning at 217.1. That is another pound and 4 ounces down. And the only thing I can say is I definitely got it. This morning I woke up with just a small bit of hunger. I mean, it wasn't anything. It wasn't like a hunger that made me feel like I was going to throw up or anything. It was just a slight hunger. Then I did have to get out and mow the grass. So I just had me a piece of buttered toast and about half of my coffee. And that was it. And so I Hope that was just a fly and nothing else. So for dinner, I have got it menued for me to have a pork chop, green beans with ham. That way I've got a little bit of my protein and my yogurt. And for a snack, I'm going to have celery with cream cheese. Um, I am wanting to keep up with my protein a little bit. I'm keeping my carbs hanging around 154. And I would like to bring my protein up and keep it around 60 to 70, somewhere around in there. That way, it will definitely be more balanced, and I will be getting the energy I need along with the protein to maintain my muscle mass. But I'm not going to be going overboard on either, and my calories isn't going to end up being so outrageous that I've got problems there. I am finding that by eating this way, I'm really not hungry. I'm not keeping a hunger. I'm really not keeping an appetite. I mean, it's not a bad thing of not having an appetite. In other words, I'm not having cravings. And I consider that to be a great blessing. That is a great change. This morning, I ran on ahead and went way back to the very start because I'm on a second pad now, writing down my daily menu. But I went back to the very first page of my first notepad where I was writing down what I was eating. It wasn't a menu; it was what I would end up eating that day. Like as I ate it, I wrote it down. I logged it, you know, and I was thinking about how that I had suffered so much from being hungry so often, or how that I found myself going back looking for more even after I had ate. And looking at everything that I was eating on that, I just went on ahead and called it nonsense food because it was my staple. It wasn't just a snack like how it was me eating the extra large cookies and cream chocolate bar yesterday. I'm talking about this was an all day thing, inside out, outside in. There was no real meal. So all wonder I kept going back looking for something else to eat, not being satisfied. Or even having pizza rolls and french fries, like, you know, and because I wasn't putting in enough protein or real food, so to speak. Um, but I had noticed that one particular day I had actually made an effort to have a more wholesome meal. Like I'd had a bowl of cereal that morning and my yogurt, and that afternoon I'd had myself 2 pieces of flat steak with I think I wrote down homemade mashed potatoes and green beans with ham. And I was satisfied before I'd finished that plate. And I actually realized something with it, because even the next day, once again, I ate more wholesome. It was real balanced. And so, therefore, once again, I didn't have a gluttonous day where I was eating 5, 6 times in that day. I was actually satisfied with 3. And I had, I had never realized it before, but going over what I had initially written down and how I'm eating now, it makes a lot of sense. A whole lot of sense. And I am finding that I'm seriously not so hungry anymore. I'm not waking up with the ravenous hunger. I'm not trying to figure out how I can have more on my plate so that I won't go hungry. Um, I am actually feeding what my body is needing. I'm doing it right. And I actually was so amazed at what I had realized in looking back in that notepad and where I'm at now. And I'm like, it's incredible. It is so incredible. It's just something. Um, Brianna on Jesus in the Gym, she likes to take a morning walk, and she said, nobody warned me about the uh, hunger that you have after you have a good walk in the morning. Well, I had a very good walk yesterday, and I didn't have a crazy hunger. She made it out like it was an exceptionally big hunger that she was desperate to eat when she got back from walking, but I didn't discover that. I've done a whole lot of yard work today. I exhausted myself, but I don't find myself in a ravenous hunger. And the really cool thing, and this is something that it really tickles me because I had realized this yesterday. Because I'm not restricting out so much on protein and so very little carb, that opens my horizon back up so that I can have other foods that I enjoy just as much, that are good food, that is satisfying food without it being like a no because it's got so much carb in it. Sorry. It still comes down to the most important thing, that I keep the sugar levels low. That's the most important thing. And therefore, sorry, I wish I'd brought a rag out, but I didn't anticipate. I didn't anticipate sneezing. Um, because I am keeping my sugar levels low and not eating so much added sugar, that allows me at least once a week to enjoy, like a chocolate bar or a theater box of candy or something. Just one single snack, though, not a big bag of it that I really should stretch for a week, but just, something that I would be able to eat in one sitting. But now, if I was doing it every single day, then it would backfire on me. It would be a catastrophe. And every bit of this going back and forth, up and down, all the learning that I had gone through will go right out the window. So that is the most important thing for me, to make sure that my sugar intake is low. And when I do have a treat, it's just one treat ever so often, not on a continual basis. And I still feel good. Uh, my muscles are growing just a little bit, but just a little. They'll they'll start relaxing. I'm just having to make sure to rehydrate real good, so I'll be fine. Um, but it's amazing what I was able to accomplish. I mean, I done all this in the front yard. I didn't do the backyard. I think I may go on ahead and mow the backyard. We'll mow back here maybe Monday, because there's no way that I can do it now, as hot as it is and as late as it is. I can't do it now. But all in the front yard. I got out there around, must have been later than 7:30, because I did have the toast and the coffee. Plus, I'd done my devotions. Anyway, I'll say maybe like 7:30 to 8 o'clock. I got out there and got started. I done reed eating, trimming, mowing, sweeping, spraying off the driveway. And there's a big mess of dirt at the end of the driveway that collects during a hard rain, because there's somewhat of a catch in the asphalt, and so the dirt just kind of gathers on that catch. And then, of course, there's seed and stuff in the dirt that gathers there, and then grasses and plants grow up. And so I cut away at that a little bit, dug it up, and got it going into the storm drain. And the most exhausting was the mowing the grass, reed eating, and getting some of that dirt up with the root. Those roots, they grab. They're tight. It's hard to get through those roots to bring that dirt up. I think that's what really done me in, because I really seriously I went for it, and I still didn't get it all scraped up and removed. And my thought behind it was, because I didn't have enough energy to do any more of it anyway. But my thought behind it was, it pretty well useless to even try, because of that raised area on the asphalt. It's just going to keep on collecting and solidifying and growing weed and grass. I guess maybe if I would kind of keep at it gradually and just not allow it to accumulate so much. But that would also mean that I've got to drag my hose out again. I think it's like a 50 foot or a 100-foot hose, and it's heavy, very heavy. When when the water is on it, yeah, it's heavy. But I got it done in the very fact that I had the energy to even do it. Now, if I had just mowed the lawn and didn't do any weed eating or anything else, just mowed the lawn, I would have been able to get back here as well. But I didn't. So, and it does look good on the front side. So it was worth it. It was worth it. I'm just, I can't hardly get over the difference between how I feel now with the way I eat and how I felt way back in my younger years, in my 20s and 30s, with the way I ate. Because I didn't have any real energy then. And I should have. I should have had a whole lot of energy then. And I'm not going to blame it entirely on the fact of having a sluggish thyroid and low iron. Even though I didn't know I did, I'm not going to blame it entirely on that because I was eating like crazy. I was eating junk food and double on meals, and I was just nonstop. I didn't find any satisfaction in anything. I kept going nonstop. I think the only time I didn't eat was when I went to bed. Um, it kind of puts me in mind of when the Babylonians had captured the Israelites, and there was the selective few, including Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel. For some reason, the king favored those boys, and of course, that was the hand of God. And he ordered them to eat like everybody else in his own personal party, which meant a bunch of meats and fruits and breads and wine. And I mean, they had it. They had it. And apparently, I guess there was some foods that was forbidden by the law back then because this was before Jesus Christ. And so the boys had told the keeper that the foods that was presented to them was not allowed by God's law to just give them bread and water. Well, that keeper was afraid. He said, "Look, boys, if I only give you bread and water and you lose weight and you start looking pathetic, I'll be killed for not taking care of you." And they told him, "Fear not. If we fail to look healthy after this, then we will go on ahead and eat the foods that the king has offered us. But at least let us prove that we don't need those kind of foods." And so they were given just the bread and water. They was given a little bit of time as a trial to see how they looked. And they ended up looking healthier than the Babylonian boys. So, that's almost like how I feel right now. That I am I'm not eating a big array of food or gluttoning on food that is more or less nonsense. I am eating more real balanced, wholesome food that is satisfying to the palate and provides the needed nutrients that the body needs. And the calories, I mean, it hasn't mattered one bit about the calories. Hasn't mattered one bit. Yesterday, what I had logged was just a little over 1,500 calories. And with my walking yesterday, I actually had, I didn't even bother to look at the allotment that I had. Uh, I think anywhere from 21 to 2,600 calories because I had done that kind of walk. Um, and like I said, I had only had an intake of 1,500, and I feel good today. Now, I recorded I just marked it as lawn care instead of mowing the lawn because I did all kinds of stuff, and I had put it down as 4.5 hours because I'd been working since early, and I'd stopped after 12 going on 1. And matter of fact, it was after 1 when I was finished. So I gave myself 4.5 hours. That was over 1,300 calories burned, according to my net diary. And that gave me a total of 2,900 calories that I could consume today. Well, I don't want to eat the calories according to my net diary. I want to just simply eat the way that I feel to eat, the way I need to. When I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. And when I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat. And I'm only going to eat what my body is asking for at that time and how much of it. And that's it. And if it ends up being way below the allotted calories, then so be it. I believe that if I went by the diet industry for weight loss, saying protein, 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 low carbs, no sugar, da da da. And to go by my net diary for the calorie allotment after a good walker doing the lawn, that I would end up gaining so much weight, I would be one very unhappy camper and probably very sluggish. I don't think it would work for me. I really don't. I mean, I tried the excessive protein with low carbs, and I got weak. I got very weak. So I just, I'm going to continue doing it the way that the Lord has directed me to, how He has showed me through trial and error. And I am going to enjoy the weight loss and the energy. I'm going to. This is the best it has ever been for me. And I actually feel relieved because now I know that I'm doing it right. I don't feel under pressure to do it this way or that way. I feel relieved. I feel relieved. I've got that cotton stuff all over me. Wonder, the air conditioner man said that it's cottonwood around here. I don't even know what trees are the cottonwood. And I wonder if they ever stop releasing cotton. The temperature isn't as comfortable as it was Wednesday. It is, the humidity is up, and it is somewhat hot in the 90s. Um, but at least there's a little bit of breeze. Oh, that reminds me. I read a scripture yesterday about the angels, and well, like according to science, scientifically, the wind comes from the rotation of the earth. But according to the Bible, the angels are the wind. All I can say is Sunday there was no wind, none. And when I went to that tent revival, the wind was blowing all in and through that tent, but yet there was no wind outside. There was no wind outside from that tent. Yeah, I remember thinking before I went to that tent meeting, I thought, without a breeze, it's going to be very hot underneath that tent. Mm-mm, not one bit. That breeze was blowing like crazy underneath that tent, and the air felt good. And the only thing I could figure is those angels was rushing all over the place underneath the tent, keeping it cool. Because it was breezy, breezy. The air actually did feel good. It really did. I got a little excited thinking about that the Lord has made the angels wind. So now, every time I feel a breeze, I tell the Lord, thank you for having those angels minister to me. Because the wind feels good. When I've been walking in the sun and it starts to feel overwhelming and I get overheated, and then there's a beautiful breeze. Just a great, beautiful breeze. And the only thing I can figure is the Lord is having the ministering angels minister to me and cool me down. Which I have been, even before I read that yesterday about the angels, anytime that a breeze would come through and hit me while I've been walking and it's hot, I've been thanking the Lord for that wind anyway because it feels so good, you know. It really does, it cools me down. So, um, well, thank you. Um, so yeah, now not only do I thank the Lord for the wind, but I thank Him for sending those angels to minister to me and pull me off with the wind. It's awesome. It makes it a lot easier to go walking though, when when it's breezy and stuff. And it's windy around here anyway, but the breeze always, I don't know, it just seems to hit me just right. And it feels good when the wind hits. So anyway, yeah, once again, I apologize for not doing the live stream yesterday. And I think even on the weekends, I can do this now because last weekend I did it. I actually did it, and my rate looked good. So when I come back to Yins Monday, I'm hoping to have a really great report. I mean, a very, very good report. This is exciting. This is very exciting. And it feels good to be out of the 220s. Mentally, like, I know that it still isn't all that much, but at the same time, to be out of the 220s is relieving. And I'm coming down. I'm coming down. Imagine how I'll feel when I'll be in the single digits over 2. That would be awesome. Then I'll be so very close to being out of the 200s and into Wonderland. Just 17 pounds to go. 17 pounds to go. We'll go on ahead and say 18 pounds to go, and I will be back in Wonderland. The last time that I was in Wonderland, last time that I was out of the 200s was 21 or 22. It came close around summertime of either 2021 or 2022. I was walking the house like crazy, just putting on those steps. And I was doing intermittent fasting of 12 to 6. That was my eating window, 12 to 6. I was doing a I think it's an 18-6. Anyway, yeah, 18-6. And I had actually gotten down to 192. But circumstances ended up happening and it kind of messed me up. Plus, I didn't quite, I really didn't focus on trying to eat better or anything. I was just whatever. But it's different now because I am trying to focus on what I'm eating, making sure that it's better for me. So if I would have kept up with that, I probably would have been able to continue losing the weight even when the circumstances happened. But I was thinking that it was my walking that was allowing me to lose the weight. And like the walking is good, but I've lost weight even without walking. So I don't think it's got anything to do with any energy that I exert, but it's got everything to do with just how I eat. And I wish I'd gotten that. I wish I'd gotten that back in 1819. I wish I'd gotten that when I was doing that in 21 or 22, whichever year it was. But if I would have gotten that so much earlier in my life, there would have been a bigger difference. I would have never been overweight. I just wish I had. Better late than never, right? I'm just grateful that I've got it now, especially with me getting older. It just, I think the older a person gets, the more, the bigger toll it takes. It puts a heavier burden on the person if they're overweight, the older they get. And so It's a good thing that I'm getting a grip now before I get any older. That way, I've got better control. The older I get, the more control I can keep. My grandmother is going to be 93 this December, and she has got an awesome figure. And her diet is so very little. She doesn't have cereal with milk and sugar. She has dry cereal. And then she'll have cream peas. And then she'll have a spoon with a heaping amount of peanut butter. And she has been eating a peanut butter spoon for as long as I can remember. And then around 4 o'clock, it's her dinner time, whatever she has for dinner. I think it varies for her. But that's pretty well it. And then in the evening, she has herself a cup of coffee, instant. And then that's it. That's my grandmother's diet. And she stands anywhere from about, I would say maybe at the shortest, she stands at about 4'10". And at one time, she actually stood at 5'2". But of course, the older you get, your body kind of breaks down a little bit and then you get shorter. So I would say she stands anywhere from 4'10" to 5'. She's a very petite woman. I mean, even before she had gotten shorter for her age, she'd always been a petite woman. But there was one time that she had actually gained some weight, and she's a disciplinarian. She disciplines herself, and she immediately got herself back on track, and she lost the weight, and now she's a small woman again. But she had gotten a grip of it before it really made it more difficult for her mobility. And this woman, she exercises every morning, and she is so, she's energetic and flexible, and she can outlast a lot of teenagers. It's crazy. A 93-year-old, going to be. And I want to be like that. I want to be able to stay strong, keep energy, be at least partially flexible. I never did really have a real flexibility, but I would like to be somewhat flexible, and just be able to enjoy life even in my 90s, you know? Just, I mean, I don't know how much longer it's going to be before Christ takes me out of here. I don't know when the trumpet's going to call or anything else. But while I am here, for as long as I'm here, I want to enjoy life instead of sitting around because I don't have enough energy to get up off of the couch. And the way I am feeling now, I mean, like yesterday on the way back from my morning walk, I was tired. I felt a little bit of fatigue, but it was mostly in my lower back and my hips. And apparently it was a little bit of inflammation because I had some edema in my hands as well. And so I kind of figured that it was inflammation in my hips and my lower back that was kind of causing me to start feeling the way I did. But I had gone over 6 miles, which is incredible in itself for anybody, honestly. And then I turned around and walked over to DG, and a round trip, well, not necessarily a round trip, if I go back the same way that I got to it, that makes a roundabout half to a whole mile on foot. And I still felt good. I mean, after walking the way I did. So that's how I want to live. I want to be able to do things like that, to that I recuperate fast and I can get right back at it. And just give me about half hour to an hour to recuperate, and then I'll get back at it again, unless it's just extremely too hot and I need to take that break to keep from overheating or having a heat stroke. In that case, no, I'll just go on ahead and rest for the day, for the rest of the day, because I'm not going to push myself beyond what I can handle. That would not be honoring the Lord and this body that He gave me. And that's what this is all about. It's about honoring Him. My body is His temple, and I got to live in it too. I want it to function just right. I got to live in this. A little bit of shade. There must be a cloud over the sun. We've got fluffy clouds today. They're not real big, but they're thick enough to cover the sun. So allowed a little bit of a shade, at least temporarily. Keeps acting like it might storm. It's been doing this now for a few days. I'm looking for it to. It'd be great if it did. The humidity isn't at its thickest, but it's thick enough. That breeze feels good. Um, it is making a big difference, though, how I eat. So, what I would like to say to any of you who are struggling, and maybe you have gone with a weight loss trainer, and they have told you focus on those proteins, cut down those carbs, cut out the sugars. I'm not telling you to not follow their instructions, but if you're continuing to gain weight or you're not losing weight at all, kind of tinker around a little bit. And if you gain a little, you know not to do that, whatever. Uh, just continue experimenting until you start seeing the weight coming off. And if it means that you up your carbohydrates just a little bit more and you drop your sugar intake just a little bit and say that you stay focused on the proteins, but you just go on ahead and raise the carbs up just a little more without raising the sugar like I've done. And you start losing the weight, then by Joe, you got it. But if that doesn't work for you, just the one thing about this is like it's similar to when you're practicing a skill like painting, piano playing, something that requires an actual doing. and you want to perfect your art, so to speak, it's through trial and error that you find out what works for you. And as I have discovered, not one size fits all. It didn't work for me to do it the way that the weight loss trainers advised. It didn't. I just found my rate staying around the same. At least I know what to do to maintain once I get to the goal that I want. But for the time being, I'm wanting to lose the weight to reach that goal. So just fiddle around with it. Find out what it is that works the best for you for losing weight. If it's strength training and walking along with the concentrated proteins and less carbs, then go for it. Whatever it takes for you to have success. But above everything else, don't give up. I know that it's discouraging when you see the scale go up or when you see the scale stay around the same. It is so very discouraging, and it does make you want to throw in the towel. I have been there so many times, even just recently. I mean, believe it or not, it was just last week I was thinking, I can't do this anymore, Lord. I am so confused now with everything that I've been attempting, and not one way or the other is working, and I'm not sure if this way is going to work either. I want to go on ahead and just quit, and whatever happens, happens. But I didn't. I just, I found the encouragement through the Lord. And He gave me that little nudge and reminded me what He had told me before. If I had given up like I had thought, I wouldn't be given the good news of now being 217.1. I might would be like around 225 point something, you know. So don't give up. If the numbers go up or hover around the same, just keep tinkering with your diet. As the saying goes, you can't out exercise a bad diet. And likewise, even the Bible says that exercise benefits just a little. So it isn't in the exercise, even though it's good for toning, strength training, cardiovascular, which is awesome because you need to keep that blood flow. You need it to keep going through your brain and through your heart, your organs, and everything. It's very important. But the real work comes through the diet. And diet doesn't mean cutting out this and that and just eating rabbit food or, you know, diet just simply means the food we eat. That's it. So I just, the only thing that I can tell you is because I'm not a professional, you have seen me come on here with great news one day, bad news the next day, me telling you that I done this or I done that, and I failed here, but then I succeeded here, and I'm definitely not a professional. But I am learning to trial and error, and I am feeling more confident with my diet now, with how I am eating. And I look down at the menu that I have made for today, and there's so little food there. but I know that I am going to be very satisfied. And that's the biggest thing. And if you have to go and start with a larger portion, but it is of a very straightforward animal product protein with a starchy side and a vegetable, but it's a big plate, then go there and bring yourself down and just see if you feel lethargic or if you feel stronger, if you feel energetic or weaker, if the scales are going down or if they're going up or if they're hovering around. Just experiment until you got that. And, it may not work for you to give yourself one day a week or ever so often to have a single treat, not something that you would do better to stretch throughout the day, throughout the week that you end up having in one sitting. But I'm talking about a single serving treat that's all it is. There's no stretching it unless, of course, you take a couple little nibbles and you're fine. If that doesn't work for you, though, if you find yourself being triggered to eat more junk food, then withhold a little longer about that. But if you do find to have yourself a treat ever so often and you don't find yourself craving more, then you're fine. Just don't make it your main staple. And the biggest hint of all that I can give you all, and this is so true for everybody, this here is definitely one size that fits everybody. Wait until you have true hunger. Don't eat before you're hungry. Wait until you have true hunger and then stop when you are satisfied. Not when you're stuffed, but when you're satisfied. That is definitely one glove that fits all. One size that fits all. That is the only thing that everybody can stand on. Everything else, it just has to do with our system because everybody's system is different. Some people has very strong metabolisms, others has very weak metabolisms. Some people has a normal thyroid, others has hyper, others has hypo. Everybody's system is different. And so you have to figure it out and adjust the best that you can. And if that means suffering through periods of weight gain or the weight not going anywhere as you experiment until you start losing normal, then so be it. But don't give up. Do not give up. I believe that you've got this too. I believe that you can lose the weight too. I'm very, very happy for what I have finally learned. And I don't want to lose sight of that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I do not want to lose sight of that. I don't want to ever gain this weight back again. I don't want to ever, ever, ever carry this weight again. Never again. So, yeah. But talking about hunger, I am now starting to feel it, and I actually look forward to having a pork chop and some green beans. So I'm going to go on ahead and get in here and fix my meal. That's another thing with me not being as hungry as I was. I've got a little bit more of a flexibility of when I eat. And some days I might find myself only eating one meal. I almost did the other day. Almost. I was amazed. But I would say that there will be some days that I'll only be hungry one time in the day. Other times, maybe twice. But I'm definitely not eating as much as I was. Big, 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 big. Big change. Big change. And that I'm actually finding myself able to not necessarily focus on long walks, but just be active. Just be active. Doing whatever, being active. It's great. It's great. I feel good. I feel very good. So, anyway, I am going to leave you with that. And I am looking for Monday to be another great news. And Friday, as I said, I am going to be doing an accountability video Friday. That way you'll see a full body shot of me. That way, because I'm wanting to more or less show the difference in my gut. And so I'm looking for my stomach to be smaller than the one that I had done at the beginning of the month. So I'm very excited about that. But anyway, I will be seeing you Monday with another live stream. And I am really looking to have some great news. Very great news. Anyway, I love you. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. And any of you who sees this on the replay, thank you very, very much. Thank you to my new follower. And I love you all. I love you all. Anyway, see you Monday. You all have a great rest of your day.